everybody. This is Rachelle Marie hosting. This is DFW's Real Estate Best, where, as you know, we have some of real estate's best in DFW here on the show Wednesdays at 11 a.m. We are live streaming through The Difference. So make sure, if you're watching this live, to hop onto their Facebook page. You should see that link scrolling at the bottom there. Give it a share because you're not going to want to miss what is happening on today's show. The incredible guests, both business and agent, top agent, that we have joining us today. We're going to be talking about how to be relational over transactional. Obviously, in real estate, this is a very transactional business, but you're going to hear from some of the best how they make sure to be more relational and just give that extra level of customer service to the clients they serve. So we're going to be touching on that. We're also going to be focusing on teams. You're going to be hearing from three different people from two different businesses that have built incredible teams. And so we're going to be talking about that, how to structure your team, how to build it for success. And so, again, you're not going to want to miss. And just hearing their stories, how they got into real estate. And so I'm going to welcome on here Mohammed Jabber and FCS Foundation and Concrete Services. We have Joaquin, who's the CEO, and Rodrigo, the sales manager, joining us today. So welcome, guys.
Hi,
and while you're coming on there, we want to give a shout out again to Lyndon from The Difference. As mentioned again, he is the one that powers our live stream and podcast. And so if you are a business, whether, a one-man band or a big corporation, and you just want to expand your digital footprint online, we recommend connecting with him. And we're going to give you some time at the end of the show, Lyndon, to share more about what you do. But welcome, Mohammed. Welcome, Joaquin and Rodrigo.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you guys on the show. You all are just incredible members of our Dallas Real Producers community. Joaquin and Rodrigo, you guys are a part, being a vetted business of ours. You guys were actually nominated by a fellow top agent of yours, Mohammed, Blake Phillips. And Mohammed, you are one of the top 500. I believe this is your second year in a row. And you are the team principal at the Summit Group. So I know I've heard your story, and I'm excited for those listening in to hear your story in a moment here. But you guys go back some years. How do you guys know each other?
Well, I met Mohammed, I believe it was Taylor Warner, is another contractor that I know, that I've been knowing for a lot of years. And Mohammed was dealing with a property that had a lot of, I would say one of the hardest properties we fixed in the past. It was over there by Marshland and Webb Chapel. And I think from what I can remember, that house was off like 16 inches or something like that. So, and that's how I met him. We went through that first project, and he was really happy with the work. And I think we've been working now for about 4 or 5 years, and it's been great.
Awesome. Well, what do they say about relationships, right? The best of relationships are built through some of the hardest circumstances if you get through it. And it sounds like you guys navigated that well to be continuing on in this good partnership years later. But Mohammed, I want to dive into your story first.
Okay.
You are actually born and from the Middle East, a place that's near and dear to my heart, although I haven't been to Jordan yet. Been to some other places in the Middle East, but you did not set out to be in real estate. So why don't you share a little bit of your journey and how you came into doing real estate here in DFW?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as you said, I moved here when I was 16 years old, went to college, and then I liked living in the U.S. too much, so I stayed. And early on, I got into banking and the mortgage business, and I thought I was going to really be climbing the corporate ladder. And there's always like a nagging of wanting to do something more aligned with what my strengths are. While I was successful at what I was doing in banking and I kept growing, really towards the last couple of years that nagging became louder and louder, which it really made me take the step to get into real estate. And as anybody who is listening to this, real estate people know that taking that leap of faith is probably the hardest part. But then after
Mm.
that, I think because it's a career move that really aligns with my values and my purpose, it was really easy to be good at it. So that was the story.
Yeah, with the hundreds of top agents that I've met with, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that term, the leap of faith. Going from the corporate, stable, steady job to real estate, where it's really on your shoulders.
Absolutely.
What you're gonna to bring in, how well you're going to do. But good thing you had that entrepreneurial background. You grew up again in the Middle East, and you said that you grew up in a family of entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, how did that influence you in your work in real estate?
I mean, I think seeing in the Middle East, there's basically two lines. There's not a lot of huge corporations, at least when I was growing up in the Middle East. There was either government jobs or you own your own business. And a lot of the business owners were small business owners. So my family is all business owners. So watching my father growing up, knowing that it takes a lot of hours and time to put into and pour into your business, and sometimes you might not reap the rewards or have a consistent income. It is something that you have to kind of think through. We are very much here a culture of corporations, and people are used to
Right.
steady incomes, and if I haven't had that, I think it would have been harder. Um, Also, seeing my brothers, both of them really kind of got out of the corporate world and did their thing. Seeing them succeed kind of helped me kind of follow the footsteps.
I love that. I think that is so huge. Being an entrepreneur, being in real estate, having your family, as examples to you, through those hard times where you're just sowing, hoping you're going to, get some business back, and just helping you through those hard times. Now, certainly you are that example to people around you, being a top 500 agent here in Dallas, and specifically your team, which I know you are passionate about your team, and I'm excited to get more into this later on, and especially with Joaquin and Rodrigo, who I know are also passionate about teams. But you specifically chose your name, the Summit Group, instead of the Mohammed and Jabber. I was going to say Noor Jabber. There you go. I'm saying it all. You specifically chose that name to cater to your team. Why don't you share about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's in real estate, there's a lot of ways to be successful, and there's a lot of ways to build teams. I think that one of the things that we both share, us and Rodrigo and his company, is our passion for our taking care of our clients and providing value. And in this business, to be able to provide value, it really takes a village, and you cannot do it alone. So there comes in then thinking through what type of structure do I want to build my team to be able to better serve my clients, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right?
Right.
If we are serving our clients, then everything else takes care of itself. So when myself and another member, Michelle Hobson, were kind of bouncing ideas around, our vision initially was to start a team where we are equals. It's not really a one-man show. While there is nothing wrong with doing that, I think for the purpose of why we needed a team, the way we ended up setting up our team kind of works for us. So we really wanted to structure a team to be able to provide value, share resources, collaborate, and bring top producing agents together, be partners on a team to be able to help each other out, and continue grow our community together. So that was really the main goal. And to make it easier, we really wanted it to be less about me or Michelle and wanted it to be more about, the team, to be able to bring on that big talent to the team and to grow and brand themselves. It would be easier to do so under a name that kind of encompasses the value that we cater to. And it is really, and we chose the Summit Group because we truly believe that our purpose is to elevate the real estate experience for our client.
Awesome. I love that. And I think back to actually my grandpa. I'm originally from Canada. Some of you might know watching there. Dual citizen with the States, but he started a big organization and he had that choice too, to put it under his name or, choose a general name that other people could more easily run with. And he chose, like yourself, having such a heart for people, the team joining the organization. He wanted it to live past him, once he was gone. And so, yeah, I know definitely there are others that share that same heart as you with the name. And I love the name, the Summit Group. I think that speaks exactly to what you do. And speaking of another name that in the business that speaks exactly to what you do, FCS, Foundation Concrete and Services, that definitely speaks to what you guys do there. And so I want to shift gears. And Joaquin, you started the company. Rodrigo, you joined a little bit later. But Joaquin, firstly, share, how did you envision starting FCS?
I moved from California in 2007 to Texas. And I used to buy and sell homes in California. So, I came here, I wanted to try it. I worked corporate retail most of my life as management. And I decided to start my business, which is a lot easier here in Texas and California. I bought a house. It needed a lot of foundation work. It actually was in Arlington, Texas. And it needed like 58 piers, something, that you never see back in other states. So I got a few estimates, and then after that, I like doing, 2008 came up. So the market was a little soft and I needed to do something. And I saw as a good opportunity to start. And the reason we named it Foundation Concrete Services was because it's like it sounds generic, but it's like, it opened a lot of doors for us to create a good service, an easy service for the customer. Because I saw the need. You see a lot of contractors that are they're not very professional, and they don't give you a good solution to the problem. So that's how everything started.
Right.
Also, the name is because it covers two of the main categories. In Texas, with all the extreme temperatures that it changes, foundation and concrete are two of the major, the biggest problems that they have. So, that encompasses, two big categories in the construction industry.
Right. Yeah. And I'm going to throw back to Canada here again. Coming from Canada, that was totally new for me, living in Texas, hearing about the foundation. I mean, goodness, in Canada, every home has a basement. And so anyways, completely different world here. But I love the name. Again, meeting with a lot of businesses as well. There's something about when your name has clarity and someone can know from your business name exactly what you do. And so I think that is key. And I tell you, with some businesses I meet with, you read the name and you don't know how it relates, or my brain wouldn't even go there, hearing the name, thinking about the services they provide. So I love it. But Rodrigo, how did you join Joaquin? I know when you initially joined him, you were not thinking this would be long-term, but you fell in love with the business.
Well, at the time when I joined Joaquin, and the way I met him was I had a graphic design and printing business. So with my brother, and Joaquin came in the picture when I met him. He only had about 2 years doing foundation repair. So I came in. We talked a lot of ideas. We developed basically the entire website, all the printing and all the design that he needed, the logo and everything at that time. And the more, when you're dealing with a client like that, you got to do a lot of research, right? So I did a lot of research on his business and what the industry offered, and was very interested. I saw it as a good vehicle for me. And at the time, I was going to college as well. So, based on what the conversation that we had with Joaquin, I saw a lot of potential. It was a way of me, at the beginning of paying for my college, and then kind of having a steady income, and ended up falling in love with the business. Now 12 years later, it's been a great adventure. We're in a position that at the time I wouldn't have imagined that, but yeah, it's great. I love what I do. I think one of the reasons why Mohammed works with me is because he can see how passionate I am about my clients and about a good service. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And that's one thing I've heard consistently from both of you, that you're passionate about providing solutions to people's problems. And so what are some of those problems that you're finding in this industry that you guys are able to provide solutions to?
Top of the list, one of the biggest problems is inconsistency. So you give a contractor a call. They may be okay the first service, and then later on it's kind of like it gets harder and harder and harder to contact that person. Not only that, with pricing as well. A lot of contractors, they go up and down on their prices, and that's kind of we work with a lot of realtors, we work with a lot of brokers, a lot of wholesalers, and for you to run a efficient business, budgeting is a big thing. So when you're dealing with a contractor that can't give you a steady price, it's kind of hard to budget and plan the year, right? That's one of the problems. The other one, and that's something that we're great at FCS, is being responsive. Perhaps Mohammed can elaborate a little bit on that, on how his service has been with us. But one of the things that we are is, the moment that someone calls, if we're not available, we have people that can text, email, answer calls, set up an appointment within 24 to 48 hours, and then we provide it. And then not only that, when we do the estimate, we actually send it to the customer, or we provide it on site, on the spot, So those are, from what I can tell, those are two of the biggest issues that most clients have with contractors.
Right. And you not only provide just the standard slab foundations, you also focus on some specialty jobs as well. Would love for you to share about that.
Yeah, and one of the things that we emphasize is integrity. So if we go to a house that needs something, especially we create partnership with realtors, because in many instances they tell you they need the work and they actually don't need the work. Or in many instances, the house needs more work that most contractors would tell you they need. And we're honest with the customers. We talk about plumbing, we talk about framing, we talk about electrical. We give them a whole picture of what they're getting involved before we start the project. The same thing with realtors is, one of the biggest advantages and benefits that we have is partnership with realtors, because they trust us. And that's a very difficult business, and realtors are not an easy business to get into. So the more we get involved with it, the more we learn. It's a mutual partnership, and like I said, the main thing is integrity.
Right. Now I'm going to actually pause for a moment. I know I want to hear about some of those specialty jobs. So Mohammed, they're referencing you. They're referencing agents. We got to hear from you here, because I know that you said, when you had met Joaquin and Rodrigo, their company, you said something stood out. I'd love for you to share what stood out about them and their business that years later, they're still a partner of yours.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they hit it right, the nail on the spot, by saying that they understand relationships, and they understand to build relationships with builders and real estate agents they have to do it with integrity, because relationships are built on trust.
Right.
And for me to be able to trust them, few things have to happen. And they talked about them. Responsiveness is important in our business, because we are an extension of each other's service.
True.
It is important that I am able to depend on them to be responsive in a timely manner. The other part is integrity. So if I bring him on to a client's potential home they're purchasing, or even home that they currently own, I want to be able to say to the client that, hey, they're not going to just quote you a project when you don't need it. So they're going to come and do the due diligence, listen, do their measurements, and then provide you with a solution that's tailored for the actual need versus of the need to just kind of be transactional and sell you, foundation work. Because they understand that, they continue building strong relationships with me, and I'm sure with other real estate agents. And I then am able to trust them and use them as an extension of my service. Because in what we do, there are ways you can be transactional in this business, but I would say majority of us real estate agents understand the importance of relationships, and that's what
Right.
really kind of sets successful real estate agents apart. Because at the end of the day, the value that we provide is the thing that we can control. And if you can take care of that, and you can be consistent, you can be responsive as well, and bring, suggest and refer people who can do the same for all their real estate needs, then you have, earned the right to be referred to other people, and at the same time continue to grow your business.
Right. That is so huge, especially for those who have made it in that top 1% to 2%. What is one of the keys? Why are they there in that top 500? Because they have nurtured those relationships. And I'm excited to talk more about that in the show. So stay tuned. Those of you watching, we're going to dive into that, how to be relational versus transactional in a very transactional business. But certainly another one of those keys, as you mentioned, Mohammed, is who you partner with.
Right.
It is so crucial because as you put so well there, they are an extension of you. And so you need to, similarly as us and real producers, businesses that we say are RP vetted business, they're a real producers vetted business, they're a part of the community like FCS. We're very careful, who we put our name behind, because we realize they're an extension of us to some degree. We're putting our name behind them. And it's so important to keep the integrity of the community, the integrity of our name. And those of you watching, in case you don't know, that top checkbox for us to consider a business becoming a part of our community is they must be nominated by a top producing agent like Mohammed or others for us to even consider. And then there are some other checkbox and things we go through there, which FCS passed them all there. And we love having them a part of the community. But yes, it is so, so crucial. And so, but Joaquin and Rodrigo, as I was mentioning a moment ago there, you are FCS, concrete, and services. What are some of those other services besides that standard slab foundation that you guys provide to clients?
So aside from doing foundation repair on slab, one of the things that I will say we specialize on in the foundation repair category is historical homes, repairing those really old 100, 120, 130-year-old homes, all pier and beam homes. So that's one of the things, I can tell you, not every contractor in the industry is willing to tackle a project like that, because they're very difficult. It's not your standard type of framing and construction that they normally do nowadays. It's something completely different. I think for Mohammed, we've repaired a couple old historical home for him as well. And so in foundation
repair, what's the oldest one?
So we obviously do foundation repair on slab. We do foundation repair on pier and beam, historical homes. Aside from that, we kind of built up from that the maintenance aspect of it as well. So we tackle drainage services, houses that have problems with, water ponding next to the foundation or negative drainage. We tackle installing French drains, regrading, surface drains. We do sump pumps as well. That's pretty much on drainage. Then we have concrete. We do both. On concrete services, we do the decorative concrete, your standard flat work like driveways, patios, pool decks. But we also tackle the structural component of it. So like if there's people listening on right now and they're looking to expand their house, we do additions. We do additions for slabs. We do additions for pier and beam. We can either design it, or if you have a plan ready, an architectural plan or engineer design, you send that to us and we can build up a detailed quote on that. And then aside from that, we started this past couple of years taking care of plumbing repairs as well. We always done tunneling and excavation, but this year we're building up our plumbing team so we can start taking care of those issues as well.
Amazing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think you were saying the oldest home that you've done was 140 years old, people, those of you listening. You got to have some skill to repair a home that old. Imagine the foundation. And I think you were saying, Rodrigo, that homeowner got like 10 estimates or something crazy like that, and they just didn't feel comfortable with the other.
It was a house in Bonham, Texas. And it was a 3-story colonial style house. And I'm telling you, that structure was, people look at those houses and they think, a brick and concrete slab is heavy. I'll tell you, they knew how to build them right back in the day. I mean, those historical homes heavy. So they take very strategic way and systematic way to level and fix those houses. So we had to have a full team there, like 10 people, two leveling technicians looking at everything. And you talking about that estimate. Yeah, the gentleman had estimates go from like 3,000, which was, ridiculous for something that difficult, to like 30, 40,000, and we came right at mid-range on that. And yeah, I mean, he's a dentist in Bonham. He was extremely happy. I mean, he's referred us to so many people in Sherman, Bonham, Van Elston? Yeah, Van Elston. Yeah. So all throughout that area. So yeah, he was extremely happy with that. Yeah, I would say that has to be one of the most difficult projects we've done.
Yeah, amazing. And before we go on to some shared values that you both have that I'd love to dive into, because I think they're so good. What you just mentioned about going the middle range, I know that is something key, Rodrigo and Joaquin, that you talked about with me, that you're not pricing too low where you are sacrificing the quality and the future of someone's work that has been done on your home. You're not, out of the ballpark there, pricing it too high, doesn't make sense, but you're going mid-range. Talk about that, Rodrigo, the importance of that.
One of the things me and Rodrigo emphasize is we want to be fair with our customers. At the same time, we want to give you a solution. So we present 2 different options. It's not so much about cost; it's about results. So in many instances, we may be expensive, but we're going to give you a result. Because an example, we have done a lot of historical homes in McKinney on the M streets. And people go all over the place, and Rodrigo is actually really good at it when it comes, and his team, when it comes to give you a solution. Like an example, you go into a crawl space, and the crawl space only has, maybe 6 inches. And most companies don't want to deal with that because it's a lot of work. It's very intensive. It takes a long time. Plus, it takes a long time to get paid. And most people and most small businesses deal with cash flow. But we give you a solution. We tell you, hey, there's no way you're going to pass inspections when you cannot crawl under your house to fix your plumbing. You have electric underneath.
Right.
You got a box. So that's kind of stuff that makes us different than anybody else. We're being honest. And the same thing goes with realtors. A lot of our best customers, they tell us, hey, I'm making an offer on this house. Do you think how much it's going to take? And we're being honest, say, hey, this is some of the issues you have. I would recommend you to check your plumbing, your electrical. We go up into the attic sometimes, and you see rafters that are separating. And Rodrigo is very good at it. He mentioned things that most companies won't even think about it. And you say, hey, the foundation is going to be $10,000, but the rest of the stuff is going to be another $50,000, $60,000. That most people, because of lack of experience, of lack of time, don't have the time to even budget for that. So you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So one of the things that I will say that makes us very different is that before we send someone out to do an inspection on a property, I hope that by us talking and you can tell that we're very knowledgeable about what we do. The same thing we train our people. Anybody that we send out to a property, we want to make sure they go through extensive training before sending them out, because they're reflecting our name, right? And one of the things that makes us special is the fact that we don't just come out and we take measurements, tell you this many piers is this much, and then do a whole sales pitch on why we're good, right? We actually the biggest value that we provide during our inspections is how we explain our recommendation. So we go from giving you the causes of the problem to giving you a detailed repair plan of what we're gonna be doing. We tell you why we're doing every specific part of that estimate, and we go we train our people really well on explaining the consequences of doing the repair. That's where a lot of homeowners, that's why they're scared of foundation repair, because they hear you hear horror stories of saying, oh, they came out and they destroyed my whole house, and now I'm stuck with the foundation is fixed, but I don't know what to do with all these other issues. I don't know what to do with the plumbing. I don't know what to do with all these cracks. So if we're gonna be coming across a project that is gonna need extensive repair, believe me, we prepare. It's our job, and that's what I will tell Joaquin. It's our job to prepare the customer, not just for the repair, but also for the consequences of repairing it, and the consequences of not repairing it. That way they can make an educated decision on the matter.
Right.
If it means waiting more months to gather the funds and plan the project a little bit better, we don't have a problem with that. We prefer that versus leaving a homeowner stuck in a situation they can't continue halfway through the process. Right.
I think that is so key. Going back to what we were talking about, Mohammed mentioned, being relational over transactional.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just like, here's your problem, sign here, pay the money, but you are showing care for those customers. I'm one of those people that will ask you, okay, explain to me why. And so I love that you walk them through that. And so I think that is so key. And I think this is a perfect time to dive into that. And so, Mohammed, I would love to hear from you. So some practical ways. How do you be relational over transactional in this business? Let's talk real estate agent here.
All right. And I think that goes for really what they do too, because if you've listened to what Rodrigo's saying is very similar to what I'm about to tell you, which is I think the key to be relational is you have to listen first. And you have to provide a solution, and you have to be able to do what you say you will do. And if you do those things, people are going to be happy with your service and appreciate the value that you provide to them. And in return, your business will continue to grow. I think there's a lot of salespeople that go in and they already know the solution before they even listen to the problem.
Right.
And whether it's foundation or whether it's a need to sell a home or whether it's a need to buy a home, each client's needs are completely different. And taking that time up front to truly listen and let them know that they're being heard and understand that can save so much in the process, but also allow them to make the decisions. Because at the end of the day, they don't want to be sold to, right? They have a need that they need to fill, and our job is to make sure that we provide the solution to fill that need.
Right.
So I think that's the value that we both share in common. And with that, I can depend on, Rodrigo and vendors like him who I select, we select on the summit group to work with, because we want to partner up with people who understand the same, philosophy. Because
Right.
let's face it, if I was a good listener and I take on a client and I do all of that, and then I send them to somebody who is going to walk in their door and just like sell to them, there's going to be a discontinuation of that service, and they're going to feel
Right.
that it's not seamless, right? So it is important to really interview who you're working with, whether they're vendors or whether even sometimes our clients, because not every client are you going to be able to help and serve. I mean, we are truly
Wow.
building a community, right?
Right.
And when we talk relationships, kind of like what you even do, you're building a community, right? And you build a
Right.
community by providing value. And sometimes everybody cannot be in that community.
Right.
Only like-minded people can be in that community. So we can continue to, do what we like to do with people we like to do it with.
Right. Talk about that for a moment. As you said that just is like a wow moment for me, because you won't hear that from a lot of agents, that they will turn away a client, especially in today's market. But I think that speaks incredibly to who you are, that you want to ensure that you are serving the right client. And that speaks so to what you were saying about listening to their needs. Can I truly provide what they need or not? Expound on that for a few moments, Mohammed.
I mean, I think it's not so much that I want to turn somebody away to turn them away, but I think because I want to provide the value and listen to the needs, sometimes the expectations are completely not realistic, or I'm not able to provide that service. And I'm better off, and they're better off with working with somebody that can meet the need that they're looking for.
Right.
Because in this business that we're in, our community is everything, right? And they are the ones who drive our business. They are the ones who can help us continue to grow. And without them, we won't be able to. I mean, our purpose is to serve the community.
Right.
That's what I get up for every day. So if I take on a client who I am not able to serve, and I've done my due diligence up front and listened to their needs, and I understood that early on that I am not going to be able to serve them in the way that they want to be served, and I'm not going to be able to meet their needs, it's easier to say that up front, and then I'm able to then have the time and the energy to focus on the people and the clients and the community that actually can be served.
Right. And it truly is, your group truly is built upon community. I remember you sharing that you do several events, during the year specifically for your clients.
Absolutely. I mean, to grow a relationship, it takes, getting to know that person, which, you do need face-to-face time. You do need to be able to continue to get to know them on a personal level and let them get to know you. So we do have 4 different events a year, every single year at least. And that's a way for us to kind of bring our clients together and create a community for them to get to know each other as well.
Love that.
And we don't just stop there, because, all of our clients are not all extroverts, right? Everybody's not going to just jump on and come to a party, or, and it takes us really being intentional and knowing who those people are, and then knowing that I might have to call a client who is more on the introverted side and set up a coffee time, because that's how they want to be communicated with. So truly being intentional, understand how people want to be served and how people want to be treated is the key to all of it in building relationships, I think.
Right. That is huge. I love that, how it's not just here's what we do, one size fits all, but you are being specific. Like you said, you've listened to them, you've got to know them. And so if they're more that extroverted type or the introverted, don't take me to a party, take me on a one-on-one to coffee there. And so I think that's amazing. And would love just to talk a moment here, because truly both of you guys, Joaquin, Rodrigo, you, Mohammed, you truly provide that extra level of customer service, customer first. And one thing I heard from you, Mohammed, when we had first met, oh goodness, a while ago there, but you just shared with me something truly unique, that you spend your marketing and everything on your clients only.
Absolutely.
Talk about that, because that certainly is different from, and I know that relates to how you drive your business. It is referral, referral, referral. And so would love to hear about that.
Absolutely. I think the numbers kind of speak for themselves. I would say if you look at all research, most people will go online. There's a lot of information and data online, and they will go, and once they start figuring out that they have a need to either buy or sell a home, they're going online and they're looking, and they are, browsing all kinds of websites. But when it comes time for them to make a decision, over 90% of people who are buying or selling a home are going to somebody they like and trust and asking them for a referral of somebody that they have worked with, because they understand this is buying and selling a home. For most people, that's the largest transaction.
Right.
And it's a very important one, and it's emotionally charged usually, because there's always a life change that comes with it, whether you're a first-time home buyer or whether you're buying because you having a child or an empty nester or whatever it is. There's always an emotional need that comes with the buy or the sale of a home. So instead of us at the Summit Group focusing on just branding myself to all kinds of people that don't know me, right? I am going to sow the seeds and grow the community that I already work with. So our philosophy has always been to take care of the people that take care of you. And we do that in means of really strengthening the relationship. I mean, we do those parties, but the reason we do the parties is because we want to get to know our clients.
Right.
We do the coffees and lunches and what have you, because we truly care about those clients, and a lot of them become friends, and we want to make sure that we continue the relationship.
Right.
And the relationship doesn't, start or end by buying or selling a home.
Yeah.
We want to be a trusted advisor for life.
Yeah. I think that's amazing, because I think it's such a mind shift, I'm sure, for other perhaps agents or aspiring agents to be listening in, because a lot of them, they will say their success is plugging into different communities. I'm part of this community, that community, and this community, like all sorts of different groups. But what's unique about what you're doing is you are creating your community and providing those opportunities. And like you said, instead of investing in those Google ads or, those other marketing, things out there, you are spending that marketing budget pouring into your clients, which then obviously they're friends with you. You're doing life with them. You're pouring into them. They naturally just talk and refer you to their sphere of influence. So I think that's incredible. And speaking of taking care of people beyond the buying of a home, beyond the transaction, I think of you, Joaquin and Rodrigo. You take care of those relationships beyond that initial meeting. And I know that you do that two ways, one of which is your warranty, and the other is that plan, the education that you give the clients once the job is done, how to take care of the work that you've done. I'd love for you to share about that lifetime transferable warranty.
Yeah, one of the things we have done, and is we we're very high on integrity. So when we give an award, we give an award, and that's part of our transferable warranty. We have a process. We're very specific on what we do, how we do it, and we explain to the homeowner, some of the conditions to keep that warranty stable, and we help them out, keeping maintenance on the property, on the lot, because it's easier for us to do an adjustment. But the problem is, after you do the adjustment, the homeowner has to deal with sheetrock cracks or doors not sticking, or in many occasions plumbing issues too, because you can live maybe 4 piers or a small section of the house, it can affect the rest of the house. So that's what one thing me and Rodrigo have created is Rodrigo has created a maintenance program that helps the customer in terms of their grading, their maintenance, making sure the plumbing is good, because in most of these old homes you have cast iron pipes, and that it's just the longevity is not it's more than we like to know. So, but he can elaborate a little more on that.
The whole thing is just preparing the client for success, right? Just like we want to prepare our crews, we want to prepare our product or service for success. We want to prepare them for success as well. One thing, if you go around and do a survey and you ask all my clients, they'll tell you, we always pick up the phone, and in terms of whether it's an estimate or it's a warranty, we treat it as the first the first time we work with them, right? In terms of, preparing them for success, after a repair is done, we're very detailed as to explaining them what could be some of the issues they need to address, so they don't have to go through this whole process again. Yes, part of it it's of course doing a good repair plan installation, right? But a lot of it, it's drainage maintenance. A lot of it is making sure there are no leaks under the house. A lot of it is, is making sure, any areas that have a lot of soil erosion, they get the proper amount of water. So my maintenance program includes, a watering control, right? So basically a design per home, trying to, showing them when they need to water, when they do not need to water, with sprinklers, with drip systems, many different types of way you can maintain your house. And the biggest thing is, and that's what a lot of, the biggest dilemma when it comes to foundation repair, when you're doing your research online, it's like, okay, I see on some places they tell me to water. I see on some other places they tell me not to water, that I need to keep the water away. So the biggest thing that we, put on our maintenance program is, is how to keep a proper balance, a good moisture balance underneath the foundation, because that's what it's all about. In Texas, with all the temperatures that we go, we go from 100 degrees to like 30 degrees and rain and dry season. So the ground doesn't know what to do, so it expands and contracts, and that expansion and contraction is what causes the house to move. So what we do in our maintenance program is show them how to balance that amount of moisture, so that throughout the whole year they have the same amount of moisture, and if they have that, they're not gonna have that much movement, right? It's gonna be pretty stable. It's not just stabilizing with piers, but also stabilizing with drainage, stabilizing with proper watering, and so on. But it's very detailed. We include it on all our jobs. At the end of the process, we of course we provide our certificate of warranty. Our certificate shows all the conditions, what we cover, what we don't cover. It's all a very transparent process.
That's good.
We also include permitting. We include engineering reports, initials and finals. We include our plumbing test results. And then in that package, they get a maintenance program that talks about what to expect after a foundation repair, how to maintain your foundation. And so it's like I said, we prepare them really well to success. We want to make sure they don't have to go through this whole situation again.
Yes. Like Mohammed, the relationship does not end once the job is complete. It continues. You're available. I think that's incredible. Now, we do not have a lot of time left, and so I want to do a speed round of questions here. One thing I wanted to dive into, which we didn't get a chance to, but we'll do it as a speed round question here. Teams, you both have been hugely successful in building teams that represent your values and the core of who you are. Quickly here, Mohammed, let's start with you. What is your, you said there is a move in the industry right now to building teams. What would be your top tip to building a successful team that you would give agents who are looking to build a team around them?
build a team structure that complements your business values and your personal values. For us, for my team, the main thing is to be able to provide a service above, which means availability, responsiveness, very detailed, very professional, which means that it takes more than just myself and my fellow agents. It takes, we have a marketing manager, we have a transaction coordinator, and to get that level of service, it takes that structure, and it allows us to continue to grow and to be able to service our clients. So I would say pick a structure that works well. I think because we have, like I said, when Michelle and I started this team, because we have picked that structure, we were able to attract Paul Sanders, who is a top producing agent that complements our skill levels and brings something to the table that we all together can collaborate and improve the lives of our clients and communities that we serve.
So key. Be clear on your values. Spend the time on the front end, making sure you're clear yourself before you start gathering a team around you. Huge. Joaquin, Rodrigo, what is your biggest tip for building a successful team?
So pretty much one of the things, and kind of relates to what Mohammed said, I would say qualifying the people you work with, really qualifying, asking the questions, getting to know that person. Because, if you're bringing them to the team, you want to make sure you have a good environment to work with. And at the same time, you want to make sure they provide some type of value to your business. It can't just be a one-way relationship. It has to be both ways. On my end, I will say that, really qualifying your team, really focusing on building a good relationship with your team. Because, that when you have a good environment, you have a good relationship with your team, believe it or not, you're at a coffee shop or you're at a conference or you're at an event that attracts other leaders, other good people that can, develop your team. So I would say, that, qualifying your team and, focusing on value, what value they can provide and what value you can provide to them.
Yeah.
And just to emphasize, one of the things we take pride is that we like to treat each other with respect. And take your opinions, because in most cases we don't know everything, and we have guys that sometimes they don't speak English, but man, they can tell you many things that you will not know. And the other thing we really emphasize is we take care of our members, our team members, right? Providing a good lifestyle. They have time with their families. When they get off on Friday, they come back on Monday, and they really come back they really want to work. So most of our members have been with us for, I think some of the new ones have been 5 years, and most of the guys have been with us for like 12 to 50 years. Wow. I have we have 7 guys that when they started the business, they're still with us. So that says a lot about us. And
love it. Huge.
Most of the customers let us into their houses, from $40,000 house to you name it. And we never had a problem. One of the customers, one of the team member being disrespectful in any way or form. So that says a lot about us.
That's huge. And going to what you're both saying about, it's so crucial the way you treat your team. I remember you saying, Rodrigo, that Mohammed is one of the best realtors that because of the way that he treats his team. So think that's seen in both of you guys, all 3 of you there. Second question I want to ask, and I always like to ask those that are on the show, is what motivates you, Mohammed?
What motivates me is growth. And when I say growth, I do not mean just money or just achieving a goal. It's always to incrementally improve, right? So always to do better than feel that I can contribute. And that's what motivates me. I think my community motivates me. Like I said, that's whether it's my clients, whether it's my team, whether it's my family, whether it's my neighborhood, all of that is my community. And community can be selected.
Yeah, it's true. Rodrigo, Joaquin, what would you say motivates you?
Me personally, I will say learning. Growing up, I didn't have a chance of, getting, having that much university education and so on. So the way I've learned what I know, what little I know, is through other people, through building relationships and listening and mimicking and knowing when you don't know something, be resourceful, find the help. So that's one thing that I love about what I do, is that I get to learn something new every day. And just the fact that, we meet so many people, so many different situations. Some situations are good, some situations are bad, but being able to have that challenge and fixing that problem, it's just super exciting for me on a daily basis.
Awesome.
Yeah, one of the things that motivated me, like Mohammed mentioned, is growth. And not only personal, but, like seeing Rodrigo when he started with me, I mean, it's great. I mean, you see the potential of people. We have, new team members joining every month, and it's great. It's great to see what they're capable of bringing to the organization, and just seeing how their life changes working for us. So, and that makes you feel good.
Love it. I'm a big learner too. I love learning. So I definitely, I'm with you guys on that. Learning and growth, huge. Last question here. Third one word answer only. I know you guys all like to travel. If you could hop on a plane tomorrow or hop in your car, where would you go?
I'll start.
I would go to Paris.
Pardon?
Paris.
Your parents' house.
No, Paris.
France.
Oh,
France.
Paris. I thought you said Paris.
Use my accent.
For me, my parents live in Africa, so I probably would say my parents.
I gotta go visit your parents' house.
Paris. Oh, love Paris. Joaquin, what about you?
Actually, I would like to go back to Turkey.
Turkey.
And, I spend a lot of time, and I visit certain areas, but I would like to visit more. I'm a history buff. I have a history degree, so I really enjoy going that part of the world. So that'd be great.
Mohammed.
So you said one word, so I'm going to stick to that. Spain.
Spain. I was sort of leaning towards a national park or something, because Mohammed, I remember you like traveling those national parks. Oh my goodness. Take me to all of those places that you guys just mentioned there. Awesome. Well, good having you guys on the show. Love this time. I'm sure there are people listening in that say, hey, I want to get in touch with these guys. How do they get in touch with you? Mohammed, let's start with you.
So you can either reach out to me. You can always call me. And my phone number is 469-831-5542. You can reach me on Instagram. And my handle is Mohammed Noor the Realtor. Or you can reach me through email, and that's mohammed.jabber@compass.com.
Awesome. And we have that scrolling on the bottom there. Joaquin, Rodrigo, one of you share how they can get in touch with you guys.
So if you got to give us a call us at 877-554-8284. For email, you can reach us at info@fcsfoundationandconcrete.com, or you can also go to our website, fcsfoundationandconcrete.com, and you can fill out the contact form. There'll be a few questions there, and we'll be on the lookout for your call.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, if you're watching, give it a like, give it a share. And just want to encourage you to tune in next week. We are always here, same time, same place on the difference page, Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And hey, we got some special exclusive events coming up for the community. So if you are specifically a part of the North Dallas Real Producers community, I hope, the team hopes, the community speaking of community here, hopes to see you next week, March 23rd. We're taking over Top Golf in the Colony. It's going to be incredible. So please come up and say hi. Lyndon, I'm going to invite you on to close the show and share a little bit about what you do.
Well, thank you, Rachelle, and thank you both for being a guest on the show today. Got a lot of, I mean, as always, incredible connections that Real Producers is making. And just to talk a little bit about the difference, we created this about 1.5 years ago. We've had close to 2 million viewers right now. We're on pace to have about 5 million viewers this year in 2023. We're starting a lot of new shows. One is called The Community Difference, where we will be spotlighting and showcasing the different communities around. We started with Plano yesterday. We've already had about 25,000 viewers on that show alone in less than 48 hours. So we're excited about what we're doing, because what we want to do and our mission is to show the businesses that are relational as well as transactional. One of the things that I was taught many years ago is you can generate revenue by being transactional, but you will create wealth and longevity if you're relational. And so we want the small businesses to have the opportunity to really connect with their communities, because you can't be, if you can't become an icon in your community, it's hard to become one anywhere else. And so that's really what we focus on. Real Producers helps us do that. Rachelle, Jordan, Lance, y'all are awesome. Tune in next week, 11 a.m. for the next Real Producer show. We have it each and every week. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today.
Thank you.
See y'all later.